welcome to the course Mathematics 3, Chapter 7, Statistics 2. In these chapters, we're going to discuss four main topics, which are the empirical and classical probability, histogram, binomial distributions, and also normal distributions. Without further ado, we look into the first subtopic, which is the probability. The probability is an estimation of the likelihood or the chances of an outcome or an event. To understand the probability, first we need to aware of a few terminologies. These include the experiment, the simple event, the sample space, and also the event. In probability, the experiment represents a process that can be repeated and the results which are uncertain. The simple event represents the outcome from a single trial, and the sample space represents the collections of all possible simple events. And lastly, the event represents any collections of the outcome from an experiment. If you find the definitions to be quite difficult to understand, let us look into an examples that represent a typical probability. Let's say now you are tossing a fair dice. The actions of tossing a fair dice represent an experiment. This process can be conducted repeatedly and the result is uncertain. A fair dice have 6 surfaces. Each surface consists of one number from number 1 to number 6. As you toss a fair dice, the number can appear randomly. Let's say now, as you toss a fair dice, number 1 appears. In this case, number 1 will be the simple event. The sample space represents all the possible outcomes that you can obtain out of tossing a fair dice. Therefore, the space will be number 1 to number 6. Let's say now you are interested of getting the dice number to be an odd number. The event will be the collections of number 1, 3, and 5 out of the fair dice. With that, the probability of attaining an odd number out of the fair dice, it will be representing the likelihood or chances of getting an odd number out of an experiment of tossing a fair dice. As for the computations of the probability, we shall discuss in this slide later. Now we look into some basic principles of the probability. The probability is normally represented in the form of Px, and the number will be ranging from 0 to 1. Probability equals to 0 means that it is impossible to occur, while probability equals to 1 means that it is definite event. That means that event will 100% occur. In the layman term, the number for the probability represents the percentage of chances that the chances of an event that may occur. Let's say now the Px is equals to 0.5. That means that particular event have 50% of chances to occur. If Px equals to 70%, that means a 70% of chances in occurring the event. The closer the probabilities to 1.0 means the higher possibility of such event to occur. as the closer it is to 0 means that the less likelihood that it may occur. Next, we look into another point where the probability of all the simple events in the sample space will be equals to 1.0. It means that if we sum up the probability of every single simple event that may occur out of an experiment, it will be equals to 1.0. This will be valid when there is a mutually exclusive event between the simple events. The meaning of mutually exclusive event means that there is no overlapping between the events of A and B. If you find it to be quite difficult to understand, let us look into an example. Again, we take an experiment of tossing a fair dice. You know that tossing a fair dice is an experiment. The sample space will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Based on the sample space here, we know that the simple events are mutually exclusive. There is no overlapping between each simple event. Under such circumstances, the probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when they are being summed up shall equals to 1.0. This means that when you toss a fair dice, you will definitely get one of the numbers from the number 1 to number 6. Let's say now you look into the event as per an odd number and an even number. The relationship is also mutually exclusive. The odd number will represent number 1, 3, and 5, while the even number will represent 2, 4, and 6. Summations of probability of odd number and even number will be equals to 1. Or you can look into another aspects. The chances of getting a number out of a fair dice, it is almost certain, which is equals to 1.0. And it is not possible to have an alphabet out of a fair dice of 1 to 6. With that, the probability will be equals to 0. With that, this set the basic understandings of the probability.